Hello, welcome back to the Little Bean Stitches channel. This week is just a total mishmash of everything that went on last week. I got so in my head about what I was making that all the little clips I took, I was just speaking over myself and going over things, so I thought we'd just have a really long chit-chatty video, a little market recap, things we made last week, and my plans for the rest of the year. So last week I made a lot of big statement pieces. I made like a big mud kip, I made an espion, and there were things I couldn't sell but I wanted to take to my market, and I'm very UKCA conscious and aware, so in the back of my head I was just thinking, oh my god, what are people going to say, what are people going to say, and I kept going over and over and over myself, and I think it just shot me in the foot because there's nothing wrong with making pieces, labeling them as display only and not selling them. You only have to UKCA mark something if money is exchanging hands, even if that's for a third party. So I think I just got so in my head. I had a bad experience a couple of years ago in a UKCA group. I was selling a completely 100% compliant material. I was buying something called HTV vinyl and I was cutting it on my Cricut and then selling that to people as UKCA compliant. But I had made a video speaking about this and I had called it UKCA safe, whatever, something like that. And I got absolutely slandered. And it was so bad that the people in the group later then apologised to me because I was in the right. I was literally selling a compliant material. I was just the middleman between the vinyl and the people receiving vinyl cut out. And all of these people were just coming online and slating me. And I was just like... So that whole experience just put me off speaking about it. And I know not everybody's like that, but experiences traumatise you. These little experiences just put you off speaking about it so much because people are like dogs. And I am so UKCA aware and positive. There are clips in this video in my market where people come up to me and actually compliment how impressed they are with my UKCA testing on the stall. There's quite a few snippets, so I will include those. And then I even had someone come up to me and ask, can I send them the resources so that they can go ahead and do their thing? And I was like, of course, give me your email. So I went ahead and did that. I think I just got so in my head about what people might say that I jumbled all of my videos up. So yeah. Last week we just made a lot of big statement pieces. So I will include some of the clips of the things I made. We'll do a little montage because we made a lot and not a lot all at the same time. I only actually prepped 6 items, as in like my mini makes. So we just had a big... Are you okay? So we just had a week of making really big, fun makes. A lot of those were tested. I literally only made 2 untested items that I intended to take to my market for display. So I don't know why I got so in my head about it. I just did. I'm not great on camera anyway, and I think that did contribute to my fluster last week when I was filming my prep video. To be completely vulnerable, a couple of years ago I got bullied quite badly online by a group of girls in the crochet community. I had only just started my Instagram. I'd literally just released my first free pan, which is a sloth that you can still find on my page. I had thought I joined a nice group of girls and we were all going to be friends, and we were for 6 months. It was meant to be a support group where, we'd all go in each other's pages, comment nice things and, chit chat behind the scenes. And it turns out these girls had made a group chat behind my back just to say nasty things about me, more specifically my appearance. And I had never really experienced all that much bullying in my life. I was quite fortunate. So then all of a sudden to be in my mid-20s and getting bullied by a group of girls online that I couldn't even say anything face to face was heartbreaking, I'll be completely honest. It's not really something you expect to deal with in your 20s anyway. Never mind, people you thought were friends. A lot of the things they made fun of were things I felt at the time I couldn't change. Obviously physical appearance is, it's hard to change. And it had got so bad, I stopped taking pictures of myself, I stopped filming videos, I didn't put anything on my Instagram that was personal at all. I had completely detached myself from my crochet, and I never wanted it to be that way because I think a big part of the community is getting to know the person behind it, which is why I wanted to film these videos. I wanted it to be the push to sort of get me out my comfort zone. I've always led the mindset of I'm always going to do things that make me happy and not focus on the opinions of other people. So if that meant, coming on camera like this, looking like a bit of a naked mole rat, I'm not bothered because that's what makes me happy, and the opinions of other people in regards to my appearance never used to bother me because the only person who should be bothered about my appearance is me. But then all of a sudden seeing all of this nastiness towards my appearance online. I guess I just never expected someone to twist that. And now in my head, all I can think about is how bothered, I am about looking a certain way. I only now feel comfortable enough to actually film YouTube videos. I've wanted to do it for literally more than 2 years. When I started my Instagram, the thing I wanted to do was make YouTube videos. So yeah, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it. I'm all for constructive criticism, but not about how I look. So don't say it. Don't really know what to say now. So yeah, let's just get into the montage. I made a lot of big things last week. I made quite a lot of sploots. I did a dark and a light ombre on. I did an SB on, which I couldn't sell because I had used white peoples in, and I knew that. It was for display only. And then I made an Evie. Toast is just awake sleep right now. So yeah, I made a lot of cool Pokemon items last week. The main thing I did last week was basically just make Pokemon items. I only prepped 3 axolotls and 3 penguins, but now we're going to start prepping. I have 2 markets in August. I did only have 1, but then I went and booked another one because my Warrington market just didn't live up to the hype, I won't lie. I'm going to put in some clips of the market so you can see me at the market. I had a lot of great conversations, but not a whole lot of sales. Compared to normal, shall I say, I still had a lot of sales. I still had a successful day. But compared to how much I would typically make at this market, pretty low for me personally. It was really, really hot and it was really, really windy, and the football was on really late the night before, and it was just pretty empty. And it wasn't just me that thought that. There were customers that said, oh, it's quite quiet today. There are actually a lot of stall holders drop out. I want to say 15 to 20 people just must have not turned up because I was moved to a completely different spot. They usually have like 3 rows of stalls and then a separate section at the back with an extra 8 to 10 stalls. They had completely scrapped the extra section and there were still empty tables in the main section. So people just didn't turn up. I think a lot of those people will have been food stalls because I can understand with the heat, you just can't keep your food cold and cool. And with health and safety, I imagine you maybe just can't sell it if it gets too warm. But then it also meant that the crochet competition was a lot more concentrated. There were a ton of drop shipped crochet, and if you know me from Instagram, you know my thoughts on that. It's completely unethical, and I have emailed this particular market 5 times over the last couple of years saying, stop letting these vendors vend. You have a level of moral responsibility to not let this happen. And they basically have replied to me in the past and said, we trust our traders. That's not our problem. But it is. You have moral liability to stop letting these people vend. I spoke to someone on Instagram, actually, interestingly enough, and they had also spoke to this particular market, and the market had replied to them saying they've seen evidence of them making the products. And my response to that is, people do make these products, so there is evidence of people making these products, just not the people on the stalls. It is unethical trade labour in a different country who are making these products. Crochet has to be handmade. So yes, it is handmade, but not by the people running the stalls. Regardless of the testing element and the safety, which is shocking by itself, trading standards would have a field day. The unethical labour is the thing I have a problem with. I cannot compete with the prices these stalls can sell things at, and I'm actually not bothered about that because I'd like to think I'm a completely different category. The market ended up being crochet, jewellery with a hint of food, so that definitely impacted things. So yeah, the footfall, probably half, if not a third of what it would normally be, because obviously not even the traders were there. You think hot weather means lots of sales, but I actually think it had put people off going out for the day and making it like a garden barbecue day, because obviously a lot of people go with pets and stuff and it was too hot to even take pets. So hopefully in a couple of weeks it'll be a little bit better. My last market before Comic-Con was meant to be the 2nd of August in the Liverpool docks, but I have actually rebooked Warrington Market for the 9th of August because this one was so slow. Let me go ahead and show you some clips from the actual market, and I had a lot of great conversations about UKCA testing. It's really nice when people come up and acknowledge the time and effort you spend testing, because it's hard. As you can kind of tell, I'm in the car and it's loaded because we have a market today. It's the 12th of July and I'm on my way to the Warrington Makers Market. I am completely solo today, so it does mean our setup time is a little bit longer. With a partner, I can get set up here in about half an hour, but solo it's more between 45 minutes to an hour, predominantly based on back and 2 trips to the car. Actually getting the table set up isn't too bad at all, but the rest of it, whew, it's hard work. I'm sweating. I got into the car in like 3 trips, but I'm hoping to do it in 2, loading out the car because there is no stairs. It's currently 9:20. The market only starts at 11, and I want to say it's about a 24-minute drive from me, about that. So we're going to go ahead and drive there now. It is a very pleasant but very hot 28 degrees today, and that can either work in our favour and everyone wants to come and enjoy the sun, or it's too hot and no one wants to leave the house. So it can go one of 2 ways. And England won, was it like the quarterfinals, semi-quarterfinals, something like that? I don't do football. But that was on late last night, so that also might affect a bit of the footfall, but hopefully not. Hopefully everyone was really, really sensible and saved all of their pennies to buy plushies. Completely sensible. I had vlogged my week, but my vlogs are a little bit all over the place, so I made a lot of big items this week because we sold a lot of big items in Liverpool last week. So I didn't actually prep too many tiny items, but I made a lot of big items, and I had a little bit of Crochet funk. So I made a couple of items that I actually can't sell, which I'll show you when we actually get there. I have put display only tags on them. So in October I have Comic Con, which I've explained a lot. I'm at the Liverpool Comic Con in the Artist Alley, and I want to make a lot of big statement pieces, and before I decide what patterns I want to use, I wanted to give them a trial run, because most importantly, I want to enjoy making the things I'm going to bulk make, even if, you know, bulk making is just making 2 or 3 of them. Some of these pieces take like 5 or 6 hours, and if I'm going to spend the next 20 hours making 4 of them, I want to enjoy it. So I always make one piece first, decide do I like making it, then I'll go ahead and make a second one in maybe some colours that I don't quite like, because as long as it's the same materials, you can then go ahead and test that model. So there is a couple of pieces that are like that today. It's mainly, I have a big mud kip, I have an Espion that doesn't have the right eyes in because I ran out. I am waiting for Tactile Craft to start stocking 30mm eyes. I've just run out of my last compliant 30mm eyes, and it's from a brand I no longer want to support. So I'm going to go ahead and just wait till August now to do any more 30mm moon eye projects, shall we say. So I can't wait to show you what's on the table. I can actually film myself today because it's just me and it's a lot less awkward. Let's just go straight to the market and I'll see you when we get there. I have arrived. I'm actually 15 minutes ahead of schedule, and I'm irritated because I missed out on the last parking space on the ground floor by like seconds. I literally watched the car reverse into it and it was painful, but I got a space on the first floor, so you know, not the end of the world, and there's elevators, so can't really complain. I'm gonna go start unloading these bad boys out of the car. It's gonna be hot and sweaty and not fun. I do have a trolley, so that does help, but these are too big to get in the trolley anyway, so just gonna do my best to do what we gotta do. Gonna go ahead and unload now, so I will tell you how long that takes. It is 9:47 right now. I'm hoping I can be unloaded and ready to set up by 10. That's very optimistic, we'll see, so catch you there. My windproofing worked. I've just got all the hardware set up, so all the actual table is ready to be filled with plushies, and it's 10:20, and this should only really take me 20 minutes, so I'm probably going to go and show you what I do. The number one.
Peter's thingy animal. small axe is my spirit animal. Oh my god.
Oh, amazing, thank you.
I'm getting confused. What's
Yeah.
the difference between the blue and the yellow?
It's just dark and light Umbreon. So
Right,
that's
okay.
the classic one,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
that's the dark version.
This?
That's
You?
Espeon.
Oh, I was going to say that's not you, is it? No.
Yeah, I'll grab you one. Umbreon tends to be people's favourite, in my opinion, but Eevee's safe bet. So,
She's got a toothless.
can't believe he's gone already. It's not even started.
Oh, with the Pokeball.
It's my last Pokeball as well. I didn't realise I only had one left.
It's the tail. Shell's a Pokeball. A Pokemon ball. Oh, that is cool.
Oh, thank you. I put him. You know what? I think he might fit in this. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've not even finished setting up yet, so it's okay. Let me grab you one. This is me.
Thanks, lovely.
There you go. My
thank
Instagram's
you.
on the back. There you go. Thank you very
Have a good
much.
day.
Bye, you too. Set up, although I was really, really stressed. I've already sold 2 massive items. I sold a Toothless and an Umbreon Light, and then my card machine broke. And I sold a cat, and it's literally just started, and I really need a wee now. But this is the setup. Because I sold those items before the market had even started, I'd already lost a big chunk of my big ticket item space, so I ended up putting the items that were meant to be for display out. So I put the Mudkip out, but obviously he does have like display all over him. The Espeon's out, he has display. My Bellsprout's out, but he's not for sale, and my Ditto isn't for sale. It's just on the table purely to fill space at the minute. But everything else is for sale, so hopefully that's fine. Just don't want it to be empty. It's been, oh well, the wind's really pinged up for one, so I'm hoping this doesn't fall on my head. But it's been literally like 10 minutes. It's only open for like 4 minutes, and I paid £102. So no complaints. So my store predominantly consists of cows because that is what I have actually most of. I'm looking incredibly pro cow right now because I have 3 Highland cows on the table, a normal cow, a rainbow cow, and I'm about to drop a strawberry cow on the table to fill space. I don't know why filling space is such a big deal to me. It really isn't. I like keeping a mushy pot behind the table as well because some people will be like really careful and start going like this, but it's such a better pot when you just go for it. Of course, thank you. Do you want a little adoption certificate? Do you want, are you okay? Do you want to do cash or card? Do you want to give him a squish? Thank you.
I see someone taking the testing seriously.
Yeah, for the first time ever, probably.
I do 3D printing, you see. I get sick to death of going to events and people aren't testing
Doing
their
it.
stuff.
Yeah.
And,
Like
obviously, you spend so much money on
all the
the
stuff,
wall
like
test,
just,
the certificates.
yeah.
Like to get a 3D printing certificate is like £200 per
It's
brand.
it's a pain.
I've got like 20 or 30 of them in total to be able to do all the different ones I do. And it's just annoying seeing people just...
It's really, really bad for crochet at the minute. I tried to, well, I sent a anonymous email to the Makers Market because there's just loads of them, and it's all from Temu. And I don't know if you know anything about crochet, but if it's not handmade by a person, it's just literally like slave labour from a different country.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's
the same as 3D
infuriating.
prints. People buy them from Temu and AliExpress, and they're not tested or anything, and they put them on their table, and you can literally crush them with your hands. They're that
Yeah.
bad and made.
Like you
Not
could,
like you have to fire, you have to burn your stuff, don't you?
literally,
Of crochet stuff you do, yeah. 3D
Yeah.
printing.
Or you have to burn and you have to stretch. Yeah.
the Pokemon are getting a lot of attention, which is great. Keep explaining that some of them are only for display, which is sad because people like them and it's breaking my heart, but gotta do what we gotta do. Look at my awful sewing. No one talk about that. I'm a crocheter, I'm not a sewer. There's no one behind me today as well, which is great. Are you ready for your rundown? We've sold shrimp, rats, bees. I think that's it. I think so. We are on, drum roll, Actually, not drum roll, quick maths actually. £140 for the day so far, and it's been an hour, so it's definitely going in the right direction. And it's not even fully into the day yet, it's only 12 o'clock, and I think the busiest period in my experience is usually like 12 till 3, so we'll see. We just sold a classic cow, so score. It was a toss up between a strawberry cow and classic cow, and the little girl picked a classic cow, so I do approve. And then, yeah, I think we've sold a couple of other little bits. We sold a little froggy on a swing, and I put it on someone's bag. My Umbreon theory rings true because I have sold both of my Umbreons, which means Umbreon is the most popular evolution sploot. I need to make more of those this week. I think I might try and make 4 for the 2nd August store because they are quite popular with adults and they're a pretty big ticket item. They're £35. They take me just shy of 2 hours to make, so I enjoy making them as well, so it's never a bad thing to do. Okay, so far we've had an amazing day. It's a little bit quieter than normal, but to be honest, I'm not complaining at all because I have had a lot of sales. It's going a lot more consistently than it was at Liverpool, which is amazing. And I can actually put my stall up today, so over the moon. I really need to focus on making more big items because we have sold a lot of big items. I think I always underestimate myself because when I first started doing these stalls, if something was above £15, I just didn't really sell it. And back when I used to do that, I wasn't even really charging myself a fair wage. So in the back of my head, I always think, oh, if it's too expensive, people won't buy it. But it's, people will. Can you see the wind? Excuse me. Yeah, I need to have a little reality check with myself, and people will pay the money and people don't, pull faces. I've only ever had that happen once, but it's fixing your mind, someone makes a bad comment and it lives with you forever. But yeah, having a great day, and it's really hard to check in because there's so many little customers in between every little check-in I do. So yeah, I definitely need to figure out how to put this camera up in a better place so that I can just have it filming all day, because obviously you can't really see what I'm selling. So I think I need to build a little podium to stick on the back of my wooden stand. So let's talk about the summary of the market. So we made a lot of money. We made a lot of cash and a lot of card, but not as much as normal. This will technically be my worst market of the year so far. Actually, my worst market of the last 2 years. But I still made a lot of money. So it's hard for me to sort of put into perspective. My market has got bigger and better over the years, and I've sort of not necessarily set myself a standard, but now there is sort of an average price that I make. So usually at a market, I average around £750. That is on the lower end for me, and the higher end is more up towards the £1,500 mark. The most on a market day I've ever made was £1,600, and it was just a regular old market, nothing special, nothing like a Comic-Con. So, as you can imagine, what I'm about to say is a bit of a low day for me, but I'm not disappointed because of the level of footfall and competition and stuff, It's to be expected. Considering the footfall, I still had a great day because everything's about perspective, Quiet market, not a lot of money. My goal is to make at least, a sale for 1 in every 10 to 20 people, and I definitely did that for the people that walked past my stall. So, I can tell. You're on the edge. You want to know. I made £550. Give or take. It was a pretty even split between cash and card, I made slightly more card than cash. I believe the card was £360 and the cash was around, just shy of the 200 mark, which is great because now I have lots of £5 notes ready for Comic-Con in Liverpool, an excess. But yeah, that is on the lower end for me. That would actually make the market the worst market I've done in over a year, which is great in one sense because to be averaging over that amount of money every market is amazing, but disappointing because I did expect to make a little bit more, and you should never set expectations because when you set expectations, you can be disappointed or amazed, and it can go either way. But I'm not actually disappointed because the footfall was very low, like I said. So I'm actually not upset by that one bit, even though it might seem like it. I'm actually not. It's give or take. Some market's going to be great, some market's going to be rubbish. The market I did in Chester at Comic-Con, amazing. Didn't even expect that many people to go. How many people went? An absolute ton. So, it's all about perspective. I really looked out because there was a Pokemon Go mini raid event that was happening around the corner. Completely had no idea that was going on, and obviously I'm a massive Pokemon fan, so I make a lot of Pokemon themed teddies. So a lot of people came over and admired my Pokemon, which was great. I sold a lot of big statement pieces again, which is amazing. Before we even started, I sold a Toothless, an Umbreon, and a cat. So that's like £80 worth of sales before the market had even started, which is amazing. And then as the market went on, obviously we continued to sell stuff. I sold another Umbreon Sploot. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. I started some fun pieces this week as well. So yeah, that is basically my market recap. My best seller was probably Tells. Rats haven't been selling great, which is strange because rats are a massive, massive seller for me. Maybe it swings and roundabouts because I have a lot of rats left in stock. I'm only going to restock a couple of colours. Yesterday, I did a head count, counted everything I had, and I put it into my software. Before Liverpool, we had £2,000 worth of mini inventory, and we have £1,500 left of mini inventory, and obviously I have restocked that as we've gone on. So, yeah. My camera cut out because it overheated, so this is take 2. But what I was saying was, yesterday I did a huge stock count, and I now know exactly what I need to prep. My next markets are the 2nd of August at Liverpool Docks and the 9th of August at Warrington Makers Market again for part 2. Hopefully a little bit busier. And then yesterday I did make this big boy. I have 3 weeks between now and my next market, but to be honest, I'm going to prep as if I'm prepping for Comic-Con and I don't have those 2 markets. My plan is to dedicate one day to an item every day leading up to Comic-Con now, so that I can do as much as possible. Today is a road trip day. I am going to York later this evening. It's my 8-year anniversary with my fiance tomorrow, so I will not be doing a whole lot today after 5 o'clock. But I'm going to try and get as much done as I can today, and that'll be next week's video, so I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do. You have to wait. You don't want to know what this felt is. I hope you subscribe, and I hope you have enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for lots more market content and lots more prepping.